everyone, this is Ellie Mae with Swift Creek Customs and Steven, my handy husband. I'm not sure which one of us is more excited to open this box. He beat me to the UPS guy, but we're going to give you an unboxing of the Siser Juliet. There's going to be a lot of unboxings that come out because quite a few people receive these to test. I do want to say that I did receive this machine from Siser to test the machine. With my experience with some cutting machines, they asked me to be on the Siser beta software testing group and to see what I thought about Juliet. I am under no obligation, and all of what I encounter and my projects and everything is all my own opinion. So I just want to state that up front. I'm hoping this video will answer some of your questions that I've seen you posting on Facebook. So let's get started. We'll go ahead and get this unwrapped.
Are you done talking?
No.
Can we do this now?
Okay. Now there's going to be lots more talking.
I figured there was.
There's lots of questions out there. So.
All right. Here we go. Okay. Let's see if.
Okay. Very heavy duty box to get it out of.
Yeah, let's turn it around so you can see what's on the front of the box.
You've got lots of information. You have your QR code over on the side of the box that you can scan for information. And then we'll take a look at how Juliet's packaged. Now, I was able to see this in person when I went to Siser Italy on the tour and had a first look at the Juliet machine and also the Romeo, which will be coming soon, which is a 24-inch machine. This is his first look at the Siser Juliet and how this machine is constructed. So
packaging.
It's a really neat packaging.
Neat.
When you get it, it has all kinds of artistic flair from
here.
Italy.
To the future of making.
Okay, and there's a couple boxes inside this box. So let's start with this first.
Okay.
So we have, each one is labeled. So we have our power source. I'm going to unbox that one. We have our power cord. And then there is a box with accessories. And something that I see a lot of users ask for in machines, and this is your documentation. It does include a user manual, so we'll take a look at that too.
All right,
so we have
power supply.
Part of your power supply.
Looks like a pretty decent cord. Cord length, I should say.
So part of it.
So that combined with this will probably be about a 6-foot or 2-meter power supply cord. And you get this all. Oh, that's actually close to probably 4 feet, 5 feet.
So you want to make sure it's plugged in securely. I see this a lot with users.
Yeah.
And then we'll plug that in before we're done here. And we have our accessories box. You know what? Let's take this out so it's out of the way. Okay. Let's take the machine out. We'll get that out of here. You have a cutting mat. It will be a little bit different than this one in the box that you have for the normal machine, but we have a cutting mat in our box. The whole thing comes out.
Yeah, I don't feel any handles.
Nope, the whole thing comes.
All right.
So here is Siser Juliet. Okay. And we're not saving this. It's just coming off.
Okay. Oh, and it's shrink wrapped too.
It is shrink wrapped.
Okay.
Very well packaged. We'll take that out. Okay. So this is your back side of Juliet.
All right, so let's turn it around.
And we'll get this shrink wrap off of here safely without cutting anything. So the one big thing I want to warn everybody about is that you want to make sure to take off all of the packing material on Juliet. There are a few things, and we'll go through it here.
So there's a
foam
piece
back here. This is your roller lock lever, and there's a piece of foam on top of it to protect it. And then you have a clear protective cover over your screen. We're going to open her up, and then this front panel comes down, and there's styrofoam there that comes out. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to actually show you this. So here is your roller bar lever. We want to unlock that, so we're going to flip it down, and then there's little clips inside here. You want to remove these clips before you ever start your machine. If you don't, it's going to make a horrible sound. So you want to remove that, and it's easier if you flip the roller bar lever unlocked in the back first. So those are the main things. You have your housing here that nests inside of your machine. So you can actually get a full, it's actually 13.5 inches of cutting width, but you can get a full 12-inch cutting width because the housing nests inside. What do you think?
I like the design of it. It's
sleek. She's pretty.
Well, it's a little more, I don't know.
It's round like a roll of vinyl is what we were told.
Yeah, I like the look of it, and I think it looks well built. Everything about it looks very solid.
Okay, so I'll show you a couple more things here. So I'm going to flip this down. These you could just throw away. I don't think you need them. So we'll flip it around. So on the back side here, you have your rollers. And we can take a little look at the front a little bit soon. But you have your roller lock lever here, which I flipped down. These are adjustable. So you can flip this lever up here. And it is a new machine, new manufacturing. So just like any machine, you may need to work with that just a little bit to get it started and to slide it over. This is something we noticed. It is a metal bar in there, and the rollers just need to slide on there. So you just want to adjust those to what is going to work for your project. Okay. So it's just going to take a little bit of carefully playing with that to move them along that metal bar. And you can position them as you need, so you can position those where you need for your vinyl, if you're cutting with a mat or you're cutting matless.
I think this just adjusts the tension
on your roller.
On the roller.
Well,
based on the thickness of the material that you have going in.
We'll find out. One thing I want to stress here is that this is a brand new machine. There are no experts out there on this machine. We're learning everything with you and along with you, depending on when you're viewing this video. As of the recording of this video, there's going to be a lot of unboxings. There's going to be a lot of people out there putting information out. We are all learning together. The only experts out there right now are those that work for Siser that have had a chance to play with the machine. So my handy husband is checking out how everything works.
Yeah, as you raise this up, it increases the tension on this.
You know what? I wonder if it says something in the user manual.
Okay, yeah.
In your documentation, you have some pamphlets. There is a little card in here that has a QR code that tells you how to get started. This is going to tell you how to set up your cutter and get the Leonardo software, which we'll talk about here in just a second. So in the user manual, let's see, it does come in a couple languages. It's not going to be something that I can show you on the screen, but I'm going to look real quickly. Tells you how to install your blade. It tells you the setup. Lower the roller bar lever and raise the pinch roller levers from the rear of the cutter. Adjust pinch rollers as needed, then lower pinch roller levers to lock them in place. Lower pinch rollers by flipping the roller bar lever up from the rear. Push material or cutting mat against pinch rollers and press the up arrow on the touchscreen to feed. So you have a user manual. This is what people ask for all the time. Make sure you at least look at it once to test when you get set up. There's also some information on test cut. You are going to want to test cut. Siser Juliet is a cutting machine that is coming in above, or it's coming in between the craft cutters, like Silhouette and Cricut are typically called craft cutters. coming in above a craft cutter and coming in below a professional cutter. So it is pretty much kind of designed, it's designed for everybody, but the ones who may find it the most useful are those who are advanced out of the craft cutter kind of level, and then are looking more to maybe start a business, or you need to cut faster, you need to cut more in a shorter amount of time. So it's coming in under the professional level where you don't have to invest as much into a professional cutter. That is how it's designed. So you will have...
For the professional hobbyist.
Professional hobbyist, okay. We have a name for ourselves now. Professional. I keep hitting my microphone on the table, so I just want to make sure I'm not turning it off.
Okay, so that one moves pretty freely.
I think it's just going to take some...
Well,
there we go.
So
it's going to take some
one,
work. Not work, but my words are failing me.
Time.
Yeah, it's new. It's from the manufacturer. So the rollers are replaceable, was what I was told from Siser. They're replaceable. More information will come on that later. You shouldn't need it with a brand new machine. The LCD or the screen here is also replaceable. It is stationary. It does not lift up, but it is a replaceable part. More details on that will come out later. That one doesn't move.
This one doesn't move at all?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
But it is,
I don't believe it moves to the left. Okay, so he's still fascinated with the rollers on this thing.
I'm just trying to figure out the purpose of this lever.
Well, I will make sure to ask Siser specifically. We'll see if we can get an answer. I have
This one moves with the levers down
or
up. It's a little more resistance when it's up, but not much.
Okay. Well, we'll find that one out, and we'll post another video on it. Okay.
They're very snug.
Stop playing with your toys.
What?
Okay. Okay. The other package we have here is going to be your accessories. So you have your USB cord. Siser Juliet and Romeo are going to be either USB or they are Wi-Fi, not Bluetooth. They are Wi-Fi, which means that it's going to work through your Wi-Fi router in your house. So that's going to affect your connection depending on how your strength is in your house. So typically I'm probably going to use this as a direct connection. I would recommend it to start out with anyhow, and it's the most secure. But just so you know, this one is Wi-Fi, not Bluetooth. And then we have a couple things here.
Well, the Wi-Fi will be better because not every PC comes with Bluetooth capability.
Most do now, but it's so iffy.
The new ones do, but
so many things interfere. Like your body interferes with Bluetooth. Water interferes with Bluetooth. That's why so many people have differing results with it. So we have a pen adapter here. Put that in a safe place. There is not anywhere on the machine to store it, so we want to make sure to keep that safe. And then, like I said, this is coming in at above a crafting machine and below a professional machine, but it has a more professional style blade. So this is what you see with those professional machines.
This is what I've been really interested in when I first saw the pictures of the machine, was how the blade housing was going to work.
Okay, so we'll close that for a second. So you have in your box, it's going to be two 45-degree blades and one 60-degree blade. 45-degree blades are for your thinner materials, and your 60-degree blade is going to be more for your thicker materials. As we test things, we'll know more about that. Okay, so to load this, I'm going to carefully open this little box. And then the red ones are your 45. So the red caps. Stop screwing it. Stop messing with it. Okay. You have your sharp end under the red cap. And then you just drop it in. Stop screwing on it. You just drop it in. And then you are going to have to twist the tops of it to adjust your blade depth. There are no numbers on this blade. So you want to adjust your blade depth. There's a couple ways you can do it. In general, most people would say you want a less than a credit card's thickness sticking out. So you're just barely going to see it. for your other materials or for any materials, you're going to measure that blade tip next to your materials. So you just barely want it to be out, and it's going to be very, very difficult to see on the camera.
Yeah, what we'll do is this is just to show you what you would do, but we'll have to just do some close-up video of this because this blade tip is extremely small, especially when you get it down to the thickness of something like vinyl.
Especially when you should have got your glasses.
I can see it, but...
Yes, so...
Yeah. And so what it is there is a aluminum piece, and then there's a locking brass ring, so that once you get your depth set, you lock the ring in place. Now, this is only meant to be tightened by hand. If you use any other tools, pliers, or anything like that, you run the chance of stripping these out, and then you'll have to replace the blade housing and the other parts. Well, I'm assuming that the blade housing comes with all the accessories on it, other than just the blade tips. So.
Okay, so you'll be able to buy, I did see in Michael's, you'll be able to buy the blade housing separate. And what I've seen people do is they'll have separate blade housings with their blade set for different materials. Not everybody cuts different materials. So for me, I cut all kinds of things. So I might have one with the most used materials. So vinyl and heat transfer vinyl, and then I'll have a blade for cardstock because that'll be set a little bit different. One thing I did notice with this blade, so you push the little button to expose the blade, and then you can pull that out. It's magnetized in there. So I'll have you just hold that safely. And then I saw this on another unboxing video from somebody. The white or the red part actually comes off. So if you ever get stuff, debris inside that blade, you can take this off and you can clean it out. So we're just gonna keep on doing that. And then you can take that off. So be careful, there's an O-ring there.
Yeah, I got it.
I would not recommend using it without the housing on. But you can probably unscrew it with that housing on. So it is a magnet. You felt that go in.
Yeah, I can feel it go in. I'm curious about how the blade aligns for cutting.
It's a swivel.
Yeah, but how does the machine know how it's aligned?
It's a swivel. It just works. It's magic.
Okay.
We'll see how it works when we cut.
I guess. You'll
see. And then you're going to just screw that top back on. So if you ever have, small detailed vinyl that gets stuck up in there, and that's the rings that he was talking about when you tighten with the brass ring.
Now, anytime you replace the blade, you're going to want to go through the entire setup process again. I would not trust the lock ring to stay precisely where you had it when you unscrew it or anything like that. But once you do have it set, you should be able to just replace the blade, and it would, once you put the new blade back in, it should be very close to where it was. So other adjustment would be fairly minor.
The biggest,
as long as you don't take the lock ring completely off.
Well,
but if you take this part apart at all, you'll want to go through.
You're going to have to reset it up. The biggest thing with this and Siser Juliet and Romeo is that you are going to need to test. You're going to need to learn your machine. It's going to take some testing. There are no numbers at all on this blade. And the reason is you get to decide where to go. Not all materials are made the same. Some are thicker than others, some are not. So you can adjust this and you can cut the thicker materials just by showing more of the blade out of the housing. You do not want to cut too deep though. So I want to make sure of that. So you want to do your test cuts. Okay. Now,
is this cutting strip here, is it replaceable?
I did not ask that question, but I can. It does look like it's a rubber strip. So my guess would be it is.
Looks almost like a self-healing cutting mat type of material.
Similar to other cutting machines. So let's see. I've adjusted this. So here we have our blade housing. We have the little screw here that you can unlock. And then you're closer than I am. Do you want to just drop that in there?
Yeah, so what you're going to want to do is you want to unscrew it enough that there's a locking bar there that you have to get. There's a rim on the cut housing. You want to get that below the black plastic part and then gently screw this in. And you don't need to, again, you don't need tools. This is all meant to be done by hand.
Very great point that was brought up. Neither the blade nor the lock on there needs to be done with any tools.
And you can feel it gets pretty tight just with hand tightening, and you don't need to really crank on it. You'll feel it gets snug, and that should be good enough. So I think once we're ready with some material, we can see how it cuts.
Oh, you're gonna make me do a test cut? I don't even have the computer. No. Guess what? You can test cut without your computer hooked up.
All
right here.
Okay.
So I guess he wants me to test cut it. We'll do it. We'll see. Again, first look that we are having. I've seen it done.
Do we want to?
Yeah, we're gonna have to turn it this way so that I can see. Actually, turn it this way so they can see it turn on.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing that was pointed out to me, you have a little power button, and it has a satisfying click, is what I was told. It clicks to turn on, and then Siser Juliet is going to wake up. It's going to tell us her name. And you have lights inside of it. Those can be dimmed. They can be turned off if you'd like. You also have some sounds that will indicate when your cut's done. You can also turn those off. There's a lot of different things that you can do through the touch screen. We're not going to go into everything today because, again, we're just learning. We're learning this right along with everybody else. So the one thing to do, we do have this test cut button right on the screen. So you can just test cut with your materials. I have to figure out how to set the cut settings though. So we're going to choose cut settings. And I have Siser Easy Weed. I just grabbed some. And we're going to go with what they say. And there's a little test cut button down in the bottom right corner. And I will do a close-up screenshot of this so that we can get it for you. Let's use the cutting mat. And now this is, I ended up with a high tack mat. Not typically, I wouldn't use a high tack mat. I don't even know if I'm on camera. I wouldn't use a high tack mat with cardstock or any material like that. With the heat transfer vinyl, we should be okay. And I'll just, there's some test vinyl. So it comes with 2 sheets of
so a white and a black.
White and a black, Easy Weed, and then it comes with what's called a cover sheet, and I'm still trying to figure out what that's used for. So I'm just going to take this off, save your protective sheet, and then I'm going to, this is going to sound odd, but I'm going to place my material at the bottom of my mat because Juliet cuts towards the front like a professional cutter. So you can, when you work with a roll of vinyl, it's going to be on the back side and it actually cuts towards the front. So when I load my mat, it's going to cut in the bottom corner of that. So I'm going to load this.
So make sure you have plenty of clearance at the back side of your machine.
Yes. My mat is super sticky, which will definitely hold it in place.
That should help.
Okay. Now I'm going to hold this up to the rollers.
Okay. Did we want to set the cut depth? Do you think the cut depth is set okay?
I think it'll be okay.
It won't cut through the mat?
No, it shouldn't. We'll check.
Think so?
But it should be fine.
Okay.
Very, very,
All right. Yeah. So
very little.
Barely see the very tip of the cutting blade.
Oh. When you get your Juliet, you're going to see that there's a little mechanism here that actually kind of holds your blade in place with that lip on the blade.
Yeah, so it's a very simple design
mechanism
for holding the blade in place.
Okay, so cool I'm just holding the mat up to the material, up to the rollers. I'm going to press this button, and it's super fast.
That will take some getting used to.
Very, very fast. Okay, and then why don't you go ahead and hit that little t-shirt button. And it's going to cut where I left it. And then we can go ahead.
That was really quiet.
It's very quiet and very quick. We'll go ahead and unload. And we'll go ahead and just weed this. Again, that's our first cut. And it does a little t-shirt with a little tiny circle out of it. So let's do that. Let's do that again. Okay. I'll go ahead and load that. It's going to cut wherever I leave that blade since I don't have my software hooked up. Whew. Juliet is touchy. Okay. Push that test cut button again. So quiet.
That was an impressive speed too.
Okay. And I don't know if the camera will focus. I'll try here. It's a little tiny t-shirt. I will go ahead. Let's see if I can weed it right here. Little tiny t-shirt. A little tiny circle. And that was with the blade exposed just a bit. He's already playing with all the settings.
Oh, there's a default settings on here that you can go to.
We haven't, again, we don't know what we're doing. We're just pushing buttons. He's pushing buttons.
There's a button to connect it to your Wi-Fi. General settings. Ooh, LED.
The LED light, you can...
Brightness, so we're at 80%.
So you go ahead.
So we can go up to 100%.
Turn it down so it's easier to see. Like,
you can turn it off.
Off.
Turn it on. Take it down to, let's do 30%.
So one time you might want to take your LED light off is, say you're doing a print and cut with a glossy material. The LED light could have a glare off that print and cut material. That's a reason, or some people just don't want to have the light on. Sleep, you have a sleep timer.
Language.
Different languages. It's going to come in all kinds of different languages.
English, French, Spanish,
Dutch, and Italian. There's going to be more too.
Okay.
Those are just the ones that are preloaded. And we have...
Let's see, what are the settings? There's a sleep setting and alert setting. Okay, so this is the... So
chime.
right now we have the chime off. Do you want to turn the chime on and see?
Whoop. Oh. Okay. Why are you beeping at us?
I don't...
Okay. The LED.
Okay, so
you can turn it off in two different places.
That must be the alert. It'll flash at you. So if you have the LED alert on, it flashes when... That's pretty neat.
I don't know what it's telling us, but...
Right, we'll turn the chime on and we'll go back. Units. So it's got imperial and metric. So do you want it?
I want inches.
So imperial. And that's it. Sleep settings. So right now it's set for 15 minutes.
That's good.
And I think that should be adequate. Looks like it's detecting a Wi-Fi signal.
Oh.
So
we'll set that up later. We've got to put our password and everything all in.
Yeah, let's not show everybody our Wi-Fi password.
It won't work outside of our house anyhow. It does, Siser Juliet does have a camera inside. There we'll have more information on that, but it does help with a print and cut without registration marks. We did see a demonstration of a printed page of it at Siser Italy, but it's going to take us some time to learn this machine. So the one thing I do want to say, and I'm going to show a screenshot here. This is a great part about recorded video, as I'm able to add some information in here. So I'm going to show you a screenshot of the Leonardo Design Studio software, and it is a cutting software. Imagine that. It has text, it has shapes, it has different tabs. It is a hybrid where that it is partially online. There's some tabs on the left-hand side that you'll see that connect you to information on Siser's website and give you some demonstration videos, and all of that will be set up when Juliet is released. And then you have your design part of the software that is offline. Now, there's going to be lots of updates that are coming over the next several months. They are going to be adding things into the software. So the Siser Juliet software, the Leonardo software, is going to come at you from a basic cutting standpoint. It is going to allow you to cut with Siser Juliet and cut different materials. There are going to be more features added to it, but it is not going to be your full-blown graphics software program right out of the gate. So if you are looking for an alternative to get rid of, Photoshop and Illustrator, just hang on. The machine cuts. You can still use all those other programs. You can import an SVG file into the software, and you can cut with that. So you can use other design programs to create your designs and then bring them into the Juliet until you are more familiar with it. So he's already playing with everything. So I know there's a lot of questions out there with the Leonardo software, and I am a beta tester for Siser, and so I've gotten a first look at it. I've been playing around with it. I really like it, and I really like that it's basic. I love that it's starting with the basics. I have other programs that I use that are a lot more complicated, and for just the average user, it's going to take time to learn all of this new stuff. None of us are going to be experts overnight. And he's already playing with the camera.
Just trying to figure out how it works.
One of the things is that sometimes, especially with both of us, we just push buttons until we see what works and what doesn't. So I think we've shown pretty much everything. Don't lose your pieces. Don't lose your accessories in all of these boxes that we have from our unboxing. Keep your caps for your blades so that when you dispose of your blades, you can put those caps back on so they're not sharp.
It looks like it also has the ability to plug in a USB drive. So if you have a bunch of saved files and you want to just
you are right.
plug it in, there's a USB port, which is how you will connect it to your
No, that's to connect your...
Yes. Is more like a printer cable.
So the USB is for your...
Yeah. So if you have a USB drive that has some stock images or cut files
More
on it.
information on that later. We don't know yet.
But it's exciting.
It is exciting.
I'm really curious about a lot of this stuff.
Okay. So. Well, we'll take it off camera to play.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for joining us. If you have questions, make sure you put those down in the comments. If I don't know the answer, I will find out the answer directly from Siser and we'll get the information. Again, this is going to be a machine that is coming in above those craft cutters and below the professional level. They're trying to hit in the middle of that range. It is not going to be your never before, I've never touched a cutting machine, out of the box, work like magic, okay? You will still be able to do it if you follow directions, but you're going to have to learn the machine. Nobody rides a bike overnight, or in the first try. Well, there might be people who ride a bike. You don't cut on your table saw right away.
This is also the purpose of establishing a community that we're working on a couple of different Facebook groups. Yes. We're going to be answering questions as we learn things, and as others learn things, I'm sure there will be an opportunity for them to share as well. So this is not going to be an overnight, you can know it all. Yes. But it is it's a beautiful machine. It's well designed. I really like the look of it, and the features so far seem pretty neat. So,
and I almost forgot. We're going to have to splice this back in, but I want to tell you where you can find Siser Juliet. You can find Siser Juliet at your local Michael's in October, just in a couple weeks here. You can find them in store or check out the description below. I will have a link where you can just purchase Juliet and have her delivered right to your house. They will be coming to other retailers towards the end of November, towards Black Friday. So watch for those as well. And I will put additional links when they become available for that in the description below. But overall, we're
very impressed. It's a great looking machine. It's going to be a great functioning machine. We're excited for you all to have the opportunity to get it, look at it, play with it. I think it's going to be a fantastic crafting machine for makers.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun to learn on it, but I think you are going to need to learn on it and to practice and to play with it. We were playing with it. I'll splice some video in here at the end of this since we have already had to add a section in before our exit. But we just played with some features. I don't have the computer hooked up to this. We just hit a play button. We just didn't know what it did, but we had a few panic moments. And you'll see that here in just a second, but it cut a whole bunch of different kinds of shapes. And it's okay. We just had some fun with it. So we'll be bringing more information to you with the Leonardo design software and doing other designs soon.
And other materials.
Other
I
materials.
think that's the most
we have
exciting,
a list.
Thing about this is that we're going to be testing things like craft foam and leather and whatever else we can really find that we have not had full success with other cutting machines on. So we're going to test it to its limits. You will see where those limits are.
We will bring you more information. Stay tuned on the YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to be notified of future information. Have a great day from Swift Creek Customs.
Later, taters.
Well, but you don't have to have it out.
I do like this system. This is,
It's in there?
I think, a far superior system for making the blade. Because once it's in there, you just let gravity hold it in place while you snug that up, and that's...
You just have to make sure it's all the way down first.
There's no way to not... I mean, I guess you could,
If
in
you had
theory,
it on
if
top.
you had this screwed in, and then you drop that in,
See, yeah.
you could...
There's always going to be a way for user error. But it drops down in there once it goes past that.
Yeah, it drops down in. You don't have to push it in, which is nice.
And just finger tighten it.
Yeah, and you don't. Like, you just have to get it to just stop turning, and that's about it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Woo! And see, it has quite a bit of tension.
Yeah.
So the other thing you can do with this machine is you don't have to load it that way. You can flip this down and you can set it in under there, but you're not going to get it straight. If you do it that way, it's not going to be straight, but you can do that with this. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Cut another little t-shirt. Let's see, since I changed that blade.
You should cut it closer to the other one.
Well, I wonder if you can adjust the movements on it. I wonder where the play button
See, that didn't go through. I don't think.
Hold on.
Oh, maybe it did.
I bet it did. Here.
Yeah, I think it did.
Well, you can do it better.
Yeah, I can see it. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's lighting. See?
Yeah.
I had the blade depth too far out. How's that circle look? I mean, it cut, but it didn't need that
So there's a...
high.
I'm noticing, I don't know if you can see this, but right on the bottom, it's like where it starts. And,
Nip.
yeah, it's like it catches, but... Yeah, let me see if I can get this circle off.
I think it's
Just
better.
look at the circle.
It's
That's
better.
a pretty good circle.
Yeah. So it's all a matter of having that blade depth. If you have it too deep, it's going to distort your image,
Yeah.
just like any other cutting
Ooh.
machine. It's very staticky.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, just drop it on the floor. We'll have to vacuum.
No, I think it's doing pretty good.
Well, I wonder what this does. Wonder what that does. It cuts.
You were cutting something.
That's cutting something. Let's put some material in there and see. Siser, I need a new cutting strip. Okay, then push the play button. What does it do?
Oh, just push the play button?
Yeah. It's cutting candy.
Oh, it's a variety of shapes. Okay.
A weeding box. Look how fast that sucker is. Oh, it's beeping at us. It's done. I don't know that I like the beep. Look at all those shapes. Here, weed them out. Read the weeding box.
My big dumb fingers in the way here.
That's why I like my tweezers, but I didn't grab those. You can put it on the table and hold it down and then.
Yeah, but I can't see it on the
Look at that. That's pretty cool. Let's do that again.
Oh, and there's a circle at the very end.
Yeah, it cuts all the different shapes. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
All right, what'd you do?
I put it in. I guess I didn't put it in far enough. Yeah, it kind of licked it up. All right, let's try it now. Oh, yeah, it fed it out too far. You gotta have it in quite a ways.
Oh, well, push it in. Load it in more.
All right.
It's just that our material's small.
Yeah.
Well, I can get a bigger piece. Woo!
All right, let's try that. It is quiet,
But I didn't
though.
do an orientation touchdown. You didn't
No.
see one, did you? Keep going.
So that circle looks really good. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I may have volunteered us to make some awards for the Arms 3 Training School.
Of course you did. Okay, well, what do you want to do now?